Well, tonight we launch a series that we hope will spark conversation here on Delmarva. Each week, a member of our WBOC or WRDE news team will dig into an aspect of race relations or diversity on Delmarva, and we begin tonight with a look at why we hate. Kimberly Holmes talks to local experts who tell us whether the behavior can be unlearned.
Random stabbing fueled by hate 5 months after the murder of a Bowie State University student.
The authorities are looking at this as a possible hate crime.
As you mentioned, we've seen suspected hate crimes soar here in the Capitol.
You've heard the stories. Hate bubbling up through America's veins and into the streets of cities and towns throughout the country.
Stay to the side.
Racist literature even popping up here on Delmarva within the last few years.
Sometimes you get very tired of it.
Patrick Henry has had his share of brushes with hate.
I'm thinking that cadmium red, which is...
The Worcester County artist is currently finding the right shade.
And this one is a little bit of a transition.
And his newest piece, centered on a subject he says isn't just black and white, race. His tools tell a tale of bygone moments.
You said that this one is difficult for you to look at. Why is that?
Yes, because as beautiful it is with the love that you can see between these young children and these workers, eventually in time, these young people would have been taught you can't have this embrace and sense of love because of race.
The renowned artist captures history while his own story is just as remarkable.
That reminds me of a conversation I've had with some of my friends lately about that aha moment when you realized you were black.
Yes.
What was that moment for you?
I was in the first group of African Americans to integrate Stephen Decatur High School.
What was that like?
I could see it in these, my young white classmates, that they were trying to figure out who these dark-skinned people were because they were taught that there was a difference.
Harsh overtones of racism mix with many of his memories.
In Ocean City, when I would hang out, you walk along the street and this carload of boys would come by and hurl the N-word at you. After the George Floyd incident, and I was just devastated because I saw him laying there and said easily, it could be me.
The psychological and the physical impact that racism has.
Dr. Marshall Stevenson is the Dean of the School of Education, Social Sciences, and the Arts at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. He says racism and the hatred woven into it is an intricately ingrained problem in America.
Whether it's against African Americans, Native Americans, Asian Americans, Jews, there has always been this animosity between that which was different.
New neurobiological studies of hatred show that the hind part of the brain actually activates when we hate.
Dr. Katie Elder is a psychologist.
We're hearing Black Lives Matter, we're hearing White Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, and all of the words seem to make everyone unnerved. Is it possible that just hearing certain phrases can make people start to hate?
Yes, of course. Words create an association for us, and if, again, that hind part of the brain is activated and that when we go into this mode of being threatened, words can be triggers for that.
It just shows that we haven't come too much further than we were in the 1960s. We still have serious problems when it comes to public education.
Studies show lack of access to education is a major predictor of passing poverty from one generation to the next. A 2016 Equality and Human Rights Commission report reveals when people feel their basic needs are threatened for things like jobs, housing, it can lead to hatred. Henry agrees, adding classism may be a bigger issue locally than racism.
In some ways, it's not a whole lot of opportunities for blacks or whites.
Programs like Horizon Delmarva target children from families of all colors and financial need. Joe LeKay says his summer students have gone from falling behind by 2 to 3 months to becoming top achievers.
Our Horizon students have a 99% high school graduation rate. It's a generational thing. They develop their livelihood. They can then instill that in their students or their children.
Advocates stress education and awareness are big keys in the fight to eradicate hatred, a learned behavior.
Dr. Elder, can we unlearn hate?
It does come back to overall brain health. Yes, it can be unlearned. It's going to take work. It takes awareness. It also takes us, everyone, to be open-minded about our role in racism.
One U.S. colored troops liberating the slaves,
Yes.
that one, Soul.
How do you think we move past this place we are in America?
It's one America, and we've got to address this thing that we can live together in peace with each other.
For One Delmarva, I'm Kimberly Holmes.